at the White House, I'm Christopher Salas.
So again, the ripple effect from President Biden bowing out so close to the election is being felt by more than just lawmakers.
And for more now of our team coverage, WLWT News 5 anchor Curtis Fuller joins us again with what it could mean for the voters moving forward, Curtis.
Yeah, and it's real interesting. You know, many people will remember that President Biden just spoke last week at the national convention of the NAACP out in Las Vegas. The organization, I should point out, does not endorse candidates, but works really hard to push voter engagement and education. I talked with one of the vice presidents of the Cincinnati NAACP about the impact today's announcement might have on the local Get Out the Vote efforts.
We have been out, we've been going to the communities, doing community events. We've been to churches, we've been in the communities, anywhere that we can stop and have an education and create some excitement. That's what that mobile unit does. We are absolutely nonpartisan, but being nonpartisan doesn't mean you don't understand policy. And this race, like any other race, is about policy and what the policy of that particular candidate or candidates have. So what our agenda has not changed. The excitement that we are trying to invoke for people is to understand what the different policies are and how that will affect them. Each race, not just the executive race. We're talking about the legislative and the judicial. So the three branches of government, we have to make sure that we're educating our community. And that's how they're going to get excited. You know, the funny part is there's a lot of conversation about people are not tuned in. People are tuned in. There's a lot of conversations. There's some challenging conversations where you have to help them understand how the other races are affecting them and not so focused on the presidential race. So that's been, but people are tuned in, and I don't know who they're polling. I really don't know who they're polling because people are having these conversations. They're having them at dinner tables. They're having them in the barbershops, and you know they're ready.
Yeah, I hear everyone talking about it too, and so it does seem like people are tuned in. By the way, one person I spoke with today said this might be the enthusiasm spark that the Democrats have needed. But you heard the mayor earlier in our newscast saying that the vice president is already working the phones to pull together support. I'm Curtis Fuller, WLWT News 5.
Curtis talking about people being excited, even if young people, teenagers are not fully informed, they all have opinions.
Our kids, right? They're weighing in, and I think at the very least, it's maybe getting the younger people to want to talk about politics.
Yeah, times have changed, that's for sure. The news of President Biden's decision coming on the eve of U.S. Senator J.D. Vance's rally here in Middletown.
Yeah, so the Republican nominee for vice president will be giving those remarks at his high school alma mater tomorrow afternoon. You're going to be there along with WLWT News 5's anchor Lindsay Stone. She's joining us tonight in Middletown with Senator Vance's reaction today.
Senator Vance had harsh words for President Biden, calling him the worst president in his lifetime. All of this less than 24 hours until Vance will be back here at his former high school, speaking for the very first time in his hometown since accepting the Republican vice presidential nominee.
No, I'm in awe by it, to be quite honest with you, but I think it's a great thing. I think it'd be great for the community.
On the eve of Senator J.D. Vance's appearance at Middletown High School, neighbors say there's a buzz in the air.
And I just think it's great. Actually, J.D. Vance, a local guy, is going to be representing the Republican Party. It's really something to look forward to.
Washington, D.C. buzzing too with President Joe Biden's announcement today he will not be seeking re-election. Vance posted on X shortly after the announcement, taking aim at Kamala Harris, saying in part, quote, "She owns all of these failures, and she lied for nearly 4 years about Biden's mental capacity, saddling the nation with a president who can't do the job. President Trump and I are ready to save America, whoever's at the top of the Democratic ticket." Tonight, more local GOP leaders weighing in.
I thought it was inevitable. There was no way he shouldn't really be serving even now. We don't really know who's running our country at this point.
Butler County Auditor Nancy Nix excited to welcome Vance back to Middletown. She was one of the first to hold a fundraiser for Vance after he launched his campaign for Senate.
I love everything he speaks and believe in him wholeheartedly. J.D. Vance from Middletown, Ohio, what more could you want?
Nix feels Vance's return to his hometown and Biden's announcement has created momentum for the Republican Party.
I think it's all systems go. And we're truly excited about what's going to happen in November.
Vance will be speaking at 1:30 tomorrow. Doors will open up at 10:30 a.m.
In Middletown, Lindsay Stone, WLWT News 5.
All right, so again, Lindsay will be there, Karen will be there, Karen Johnson.